Hey everyone, welcome back to Paper Therapy with Amy. I know it's been too long, but here I am with this Storybook paper. This is the 3 sheets that are in it, and this is the other side of those. So this is like the girly side. And then this is, I guess, the more masculine side. You can see on this paper here, this side's got like the dragons and the swords, I think, and such. And then this side's more like feminine with the shoe and the unicorn and the teapot and those types of things. So I have, as you probably spied under here, some castle pictures. I printed these out myself already. This one here is a 4x6. This one here is a 4x4. And then the rest are all 3x4s. That includes the white border. And then I just tacked them all together like this, because this is how they're going to be on my layout. And I decided to do that beforehand so that you could see, and that way I can move these around as units on my page and see how. I'm pretty sure I'm going to not offset them. I'm going to have them together so that the pictures are central on the page, which is kind of my trademark. That's what the other scrapbook ladies say anyways. So this, as you have probably figured out, is going to be a 2-page layout. So I'm going to bring in these 2 Versamats. So starting out, I know this looks like white probably on the screen, but this is 2 sheets of, I believe, Pebble. That is a retired color that I bought a bunch of because I have said before, I love not having a fully white background. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to buy this paper. It was on a real clearance price, and to me, it doesn't matter whether I have linen or Pebble, it looks very similar. So I'm going to start with these 2 background sheets, and then let's get my photos right away kind of situated. That's probably how they're going to be. Something like that. And then I can use the lines here to kind of line them up if need be. And then I definitely want to use some scraps up. So I'm going to use, I think, the back side of this. It's pine. You know, now that Close to My Heart is closing, I'm finding myself really hoarding my my cardstock. It is the cardstock month, a good month to stock up on cardstock. But yeah, like I don't know if Stampin' Up! Is going to take over our cardstock. So it might be the last time we can ever get the cardstock. And it's just, that part's kind of sad for me. Like, overall, I'm okay with the plan, but I'm a bit sad about that part because I really love the cardstock. I love the white core. Maybe Stampin' Up! Will take it over. Okay, so I cut this one out of here because I'm not going to go with the pink and red and yellow colors. I just want to kind of focus on these colors. I think they go nice with the stone and my husband's hoodie, and I'm wearing gray. I also have a green sweater underneath. You can't see much of it, but it's just here. And I kind of, this is very bright green on the grass here, but I think these greens play well off of it. So kind of toning it back a little. So I do want to try and use this scrap because I have some work castles to scrapbook and I might want to use this again. So I do kind of want to use this scrap of paper that came out of the center of my last layout with Mabel on it. I used this side and I used it around the edge. So I'm thinking that I'm going to have something with this part kind of sticking out like this on each side. That's kind of what I'm hoping to do. So I'm not going to cut it yet because I probably only need a small piece here to make it look like it's coming through. So I'm going to just start by seeing if I can make the rest of this work. So I could cut another strip of this out, but I also think I might have it here. And in that case, it's going to be hidden underneath there anyways. And I'd really like to make, I think I would like to matte my photos again with this green. But I would really like to make this amount of green work and not have to cut more. So I'm wondering if I put this here, it would also be like this. I think I want a bigger mat too, something like that. If I put this here, then could I cut a piece off and continue it down here is what I'm thinking. So you see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna cut, it doesn't have to be a very big piece. So I think I'm just gonna cut a small 1/2 inch piece off the bottom there. Bring in my cutter. It's 1 inch. Why don't I do 3/4? I'll do 3/4 just to have a little more to tuck underneath. Okay, we're gonna start like that. And then let's tack this onto here. Just a quick tack. And I'm just eyeballing that I have the frame is the same here. And then I'll just trim this side off later when I decide that I'm happy with it. Okay, so then I'm gonna eyeball that this frame is also kind of the same. So that looks about right. I'm at 11 3/4 here. So I should come to about here. I've lost my my T-square ruler. I don't know where that went to, so I just have to eyeball things. Okay, and so what I'm thinking is to put this down here and continue the green. Oh, I was using the back side. It needs this side because it's cut more cleanly. You see how that just gives you an illusion that you've got an inner frame here? And then I would like to use this arrow paper. Maybe I'll do a second banner kind of, and I might dovetail the banner. And then I want to do some work in the background, but I think that this will work. Now underneath all of this needs to come. So I was gonna have that kind of poking out, and I wanted it to be smaller, so I might have to make this a little bit bigger. Let's try this. Let's come down a little more. So I won't see any green there, but that's okay. And especially if I'm gonna put this here, then I can kind of make this even larger. Here we go. Okay, let's go like that and that. And then we're gonna bring this one here, and then this one's gonna come out just like that. So I actually would like it to be even wider. Let's come down yet more. You'll see what I beat it a bit at because I'm forgetting that I want this margin and this margin to be similar. I love those clean lines. Tuck under there, you. Right, so I've got this one at about 3/4. Then this one will have to be about 3/4, so I'll have to cover up the rest under there. And then this I will center in there. I think that's gonna work. So now I gotta bring it over to this side as well. Is this long enough? It is. Look at me conserving my cardstock. So this time I'm not gonna come as far. This is shorter here, so we're gonna bring this up even more. Yes, that's good. So I'm gonna use this piece here so we can cut those off. I'm gonna cut them so they're well, oh no, this one has to go all the way across. So I'm gonna cut this one so it's well hidden. There we go. Yeah, that's good. So then this one's gonna come out on that side. So I'm also gonna need a little piece. Oh no, this will go right up on here. This will come here. This one's gonna go here. So I'm gonna have to cut another strip since this is coming the whole way across, unless I would use the blue, but I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna cut another strip of this. So I just have to measure how I did that because I'm not sure. I just kind of eyeballed that I would only have these 3 colors. So this is the same kind of strip right here. Put this one here because it's mostly covered. All right. Oh, and I had it this way, I think, with the speckles going towards the bottom more. So in that case, I could go this way. Okay. So what I'm going to do with this side, so this side was like this. worry about that getting in that perfect later. And then what I'm going to do with this side is be like this. And this is going to come out on this end. So it'll be right up underneath there the whole way. Possibly a little bit showing like that. This is going to be here. Ooh. And then that means I can't cut much off of there. So I'm going to see if I can find another small piece of green. I only need another little strip to put down here to finish that off. I've got that all glued down. I've been inking everything with charcoal ink. This charcoal was getting very dry and I actually needed re-inker, but I don't know if you're shopping at Close to My Heart, you know the re-inker has just been flying. Every time it comes in, it is gone in like 2 seconds, and I just can't afford to be ordering one re-inker at a time when I have to pay $11 shipping every time Canadian. So I just ordered a second charcoal ink pad. And I decided that this is going to be my ink around the edges pad because it kind of gets dried out, sitting out and stuff, and this will be my stamping one. So maybe that's a tip if you also couldn't get re-inkers. I could make a frame coming in here, or I could have this piece going entirely across the background. So I'm kind of trying it in place and trying to make that decision here. I do decide I like it tucked in a bit with a frame of the background around it, and I do that on the far right side as well, but I end up later on going straight through on the right side. Now that I've got that decided, all I have left to do is embellish this page and add a title. So I knew I wanted something to do with the word explore for my title, but I was still thinking about what I wanted the whole title to be. And while I was thinking about that, I did decide that I wanted to use that pocket card with the picture of the castle on it because it goes with my color scheme so well. And I ended up fussy cutting out the castle. As I was looking through the rest of the pocket cards, I also found one that would be good for journaling. I also decided I wanted to include a pocket card that resembles stones stacked on one another or a stone wall. It plays really well off of these pictures, and so I kept it aside, thinking I might use it with my title. This pocket card was a bit awkward because it was too long for the spot. It did have a lot of white on the top, and I did like this, record this, I think it says on the top, or for the record. So I just trimmed it a bit and made it like a tab sticking out the top, and then I had the rest of it come out the bottom. So it would fit better in the space that I had. This was a really interesting day that we spent in Ghent in Belgium. And we had met my cousins from the Netherlands there because the Netherlands neighbors Belgium. And also they speak the language there because they speak both French and Dutch in Belgium. So we had a really good time exploring around this area. There's 2 medieval kind of cities there. They've been there for a long time, and at one time they were coastal cities. So this is kind of the day. My cousin is not on these pictures, but her husband is on them. But I do have her in some other photos, so I'll be having pictures of her in other layouts later on. I have not yet been able to get the new letters. I think they're called the outline alphabet. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to snag them. Everybody's been on them so quick when they become available. So I did kind of want these letters to look a little different. So I tried them in a few spots, and then I tried to snip off the little tabs that make them kind of a serif alphabet. And I really liked how that looked. So you'll see me doing that in a second, and hopefully you can tell how I did that if you want to do it yourself, if you have these letters. I just snipped off all the little lips or tabs that are coming down on the E's, on every letter, I guess. And it makes them look a lot more simple. The letters were not visible enough on the background, so I decided to put them on this stone kind of pocket card that came with the pocket cards, and I did ink around the edges to define them a little bit more. It's tricky, but it can be done.
And I glued them down onto the pocket card with the Barely Art glue. And that way they were more visible. I wasn't sure how I was going to use them, but I had an idea that I wanted to cut them into a strip and have another banner playing off the other banners there on the left-hand side. While you were watching me put this title together, I wanted to thank you so much for once again spending some time with me watching this layout come together on YouTube. And if you are enjoying the video, I'd love it if you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet. Hitting that thumbs up button is a really big help to any of us that has a YouTube channel. So I did not like the gap between the Explore banner and the rest of my banners, so I needed to make something else. I thought that this city stamp would be great. I stamped it in pine ink onto the leftovers from that pocket card that I had that had the castle on it, and I was able to tuck it in behind and kind of combine it so that it looks just like another banner. For another flag in the title, I also added the words all day long from the date stamp. That's the stamp that looks like a library card. You saw me using it earlier, and I'm using this little piece of zip strip as well to add into my flags here to just give some more texture. This is the point where I also noticed that I wasn't really showcasing the castle on that piece of background paper, so I just trimmed it up. I had enough tucked behind. I could kind of center a castle in that spot. I also didn't like that the word explore wasn't originating from anywhere. I felt like I needed something right here in this spot. I used these 3 markers to color this globe that came from the Let's Go Anywhere scrapbooking stamp set that is available right now. I really like how the globe gives my 2 little title banners a place to originate from. I also found these acrylic arrows in my stash that really go with the theme of this layout, which is kind of like a medieval castle. And I found a bunch more arrows in my stash that are from paperboard shapes, and I just kind of put them all over the page, scattering them around so that I had that really strong black color, a little bit of it everywhere. In general, if I have a patterned paper or a color on one side of the layout, I want it to be on the other side of the layout to tie everything in together. I felt that the embellishment cluster by the title needed a little something more, so I dug through my stash and found this geotag stamp. I stamped it in sage ink, I cut it out, and I popped it up on some pop tags and added some arrows to kind of finish off that cluster. All of the chipboard and acrylic arrows have been glued down with the Barely Art glue. I love this glue for scrapbooking, and it's available on Amazon. I will link it down below. I will also link everything that is still available on my shopping page. It's still going to be open until the end of April. And otherwise, I will just list the items that I used that are no longer available. I didn't want to cut into another sheet of pine cardstock, so I did patch a little bit of paper together on the bottom, and I wanted to camouflage that a little bit more, so I added a little more of that pocket card that resembles stacked stones or a wall. Off camera, I did also add a few dots as a finishing touch. Here is the finished layout. I'm pretty happy with the results. I wrote a little bit of journaling here. It says, we spent a day in Ghent, Belgium, and saw Gravenstein Castle built in 1180. Not a nice place at one time. So there was a torture chamber and stuff, and anybody can look it up on their phone and read about it. I don't really want to write about that on my page because to me this day was about spending time with my cousin and her husband. My cousin didn't make the photos, but I have her in other photos from other things we did, and me and Ryan being able to visit this very old place. So here is my little globe. I decided I needed something to originate these from, so I like that a lot better than if they just end abruptly. And I'm really happy with my letters when I cut those tabs off to get that serif kind of look out. And then this side. Here is the date I stamped on, just so I'd have some of that dark black writing as I have on the other side here. And then I just did my journaling, hand wrote it. And I like how these rocks kind of play off the rocks. I got a little bit of this paper on this side. I didn't do this on this side, but I'm not too concerned because it's just the green on the, I think that's the Seabrook background. So that is the finished product. I hope you like the layout, and I will catch you next time. Bye.